Hi, Emily with Team Made for More here, and tonight I'm going to show you how to make a cheeseburger mac and cheese meal that is approved for my meal plan and a crowd pleaser with the kids, which is always a plus in mom world. This counts as a blue, red, green, and teaspoon, and I can't wait for them to try it. Here we go. First thing you need is beef. You need the nice lean, I usually do like 95% lean beef. You need some riced cauliflower, and yes, I spend the extra. Yes, you love that, don't you? I spend the extra money to get the pre-rice stuff because all you do is steam it in the microwave, which saves me a ton of time and then saves you a ton of mess too. I'm using coconut flour for my roux, which is a thickening agent, with some ghee that I've already prepared, and the ghee I keep back in here. We'll talk about ghee a little bit later, but it's basically clarified butter. And then, of course, shredded cheddar cheese and some seasonings, and that's about it. So let me show you how to do this.
I want to watch you.
First thing you want to do is brown your beef. Ground beef needs to be cooked to an internal temp of 155 or until thoroughly brown all the way through. I kind of chop as I cook it. The trick is preheating your pan so you get like a nice golden crust on the meat. I like that. I feel like it turns out a little bit better, so I preheat my pan a little bit hotter, and then I turn it down once I get it to break up a little bit. And then instead of using salt at this point, I'm going to season it with a little bit of onion powder and garlic powder. So here's some onion powder and some garlic powder, just a sprinkle. You could add in some onions also if you want, or you can, okay, come here. You can add in some onions if you want, or any other kind of veggie if you prefer. I'm just gonna leave it plain tonight.
I love those.
You love it? Is it gonna be good? What is this? Is it hamburger?
Yeah.
Mommy's making like a cheeseburger meal for you. So the beef has fully been browned now, so I'm gonna go ahead and take it out and put it on a paper plate so that I can drain the grease out. So I've been steaming my cauliflower in the microwave. I just put it in for about 3.5 minutes just to basically thaw it and steam it a little bit. With it being riced, it doesn't need to cook real long or it will be kind of soggy. So just FYI on that. Next thing I'm going to do is make something called a roux, which is a thickener. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons plus 2 teaspoons of ghee, which is the same thing as clarified butter. This is a double batch that I'm doing, so this is enough for 8 servings. Okay, the next thing to do is add in your flour. I'm using the coconut flour because it makes it still no carb, gluten-free. So you want to put in even amounts of flour and butter, or the ghee. So it's 2 tablespoons plus 2 teaspoons. And it won't be as thick as if you used regular flour, but this is what fits in my meal plan. While that is starting to cook a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and measure out my 2 cups of unsweetened almond milk. And that's going to be the base for our cheese sauce. Just kind of want to stir this around a little bit. The ghee's melted all the way. And you just want to cook the flour enough that it has kind of a toasted smell so that it doesn't taste like raw flour in your cheese sauce. So the ghee is turned like a light brown and you can smell like a toasted smell to it. So now I'm going to add in my unsweetened almond milk. And I'm gonna bring this up to a simmer or a low boil and then add in 2 2 cups of cheese, and that's going to be the base for my cheese sauce. While this is coming to a simmer, I'm going to go ahead and season it with a little bit of Himalayan salt and a little bit of pepper. Okay, a lot of pepper. I love pepper. Next thing we're gonna do is add in our cheese, which this I've already measured to be 2 2/3 cups. So we're gonna go ahead and put a full cup in, plus a little bit more. We're gonna save some back to do like a cheese crust on the top. If you don't like a cheese crust on the top of your mac and cheese, then I would put all of the cheese in. You know your cheese sauce is done when, see how I can scrape the spoon across and see the bottom of my pan for just a second? That means that it's thickened up enough to add in my other ingredients, but it's not, it'll continue to thicken when it's in the oven. So the next thing I'm gonna do is put my ground beef back in. This was 2 pounds because I'm making enough for 8 servings because we have a lot of mouths to feed at our house. And the kids love mac and cheese. So I'm gonna stir that up. Oh, it looks so good. Now we're gonna add in our riced cauliflower, which is also our noodles for the night. And then just give it a stir. Okay, so I've got it combined. I went ahead and tasted it to make sure that the seasonings were good, because if you want to add any seasonings, now's the time. What I'm going to do now is split it into my 2 casserole dishes, and here's the best part. This casserole dish serves 4, so you get to eat a ton of this because it's mainly just vegetables and protein. So I'm going to put half of it in this dish and half in this dish. That looks about. Then I'm going to spread it out. Step is to cover it with the remainder of the cheese that you saved back. I do like a nice cheesy crust. Henry, what are you rolling around, buddy?
This.
Oh, your train set? It's nice and loud.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now we just pop it in the oven for about 20 minutes or until the cheese melts. And then dinner is served. I'm going for 3 out of 3 kids tonight.